Okay, so we're back. This is the next update in the series in this story that began with a guy leaking allegedly classified information to me anonymously. If you don't know what's going on here, you should probably start with the first video in this playlist, which will be linked up in the card up there. I'm also going to link to every video here in the description. So if you haven't seen the first video, you're not going to really understand the context of what's going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this email and the images that were shared with me this time were, I'd say, even creepier than, like, these are the craziest ones, I think. Especially given the context. Also, I would, I'm going to urge you guys to, I know you're going to skip ahead and just look at the images, but some of them aren't going to make too much sense unless you understand the context behind some of them as well. But I'm just going to go ahead and read this allegedly final email that I got from our leaker, and I'm going to do reverse image searches on all of the images to show that they don't appear anywhere else on the internet before I release this, and we'll go from there. So, hello again. This is him talking. By the way, I'm Nathan, if you didn't know. Hello again. It's been a busy week, but I've made the time to carefully read through most of the comments on your channel and other platforms. Like I mentioned to Nathan, he's talking to you guys, I did catch the full live stream and saw all the questions and told him about someone joking that I'll be answering questions until disclosure actually happens. I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude. Thank you to everyone who left supporting messages, particularly those who encouraged me to continue sharing these photos. I'm also grateful to those who offered positive feedback for Nathan, who has done nothing but provide a platform for this information. He's provided me with a platform, and I truly appreciate that. Please don't hold Nathan responsible for any of this, and I hope you continue to support him moving forward. It's kind of weird referring to myself in the third person that way, but to YouTube at Conoro 8610, thank you for your thoughtful comment. It's something I will carry with me for a long time. I've seen some comments referring to me as a quote-unquote temperamental leaker, and while I understand that perception, I'm human. My primary focus is and always will be the protection of these operations and the safety of those involved. I'm not here to seek recognition or cause disruption, nor am I trying to draw attention in the way others might suggest. No, I'm not Jack Texiera. I'm not here to impress people on the internet or face consequences that would put my family and career at risk. And no, maybe I'm not the hero you want me to be. That said, I need to address the recent comments made by Corbell. Personally, I don't know who Corbell is. While I wish this wasn't necessary, it's important to be clear. The approach he's taken, altering documents and attaching his name to reports like the Immaculate Constellation and submitting them to Congress, has crossed a line. This behavior risks undermining legitimate discussions and could lead to operational security breaches. It's disheartening to see him try to hold on to fleeting relevance, especially when the focus should be on the integrity of the information rather than personal recognition. It's time for everyone to move on, and I will do the same. This will be my last communication. Lastly, I ask that you, Corbell, please refrain from repeatedly contacting ONI and IFISR personnel for data. These actions are putting them at unnecessary risk, and it's important to consider the consequences of such behavior. Now, on to the main event, your questions. For context, guys, what I did was we ended up with like 86 questions. Some of them are redundant. I kind of went through them all, and I kind of reduced them down to like 30 questions, which captured the essence of nearly all of them. Some of them were not answered. I'm not going to speculate as to why. Some of them were answered. Well, you'll see. I'm not going to share which questions weren't answered, although I will say the ones that weren't answered usually were kind of like outliers. Like the ones that he didn't include here were kind of just like weird questions anyway. But this does get into some like creepy stuff, especially with the Cruciform entities. Okay, first question. Why did you decide to share this now? Timing is critical. The Immaculate Constellation Report has reached certain decision makers, but the data risks being buried or diluted unless the public demands accountability. I think this is very important. The public is who ultimately controls what Congress is going to do. But there is a significant risk that the data could be downplayed, buried, or diluted unless there is pressure from the public for transparency. We need to lay the groundwork for greater acknowledgement without compromising operational security. We're also at an inflection point geopolitically. Adversaries like China and Russia have expanded their own UAP recovery programs, some modeled on ATIP, and the strategic gap is closing. Public awareness can act as a counterbalance, pushing our own programs to adapt more aggressively. We are closer to World War III than ever before. It's crucial that we come forward with the truth and engage the public, ensuring the collection and sharing of the best intelligence available. This transparency is vital to securing our position and countering the growing threats posed by Russia and China in a way that safeguards global stability for the long term. Number 2, what was your reason for choosing me, to be the outlet you shared this information with? Frankly, I considered other outlets, but their insistence on verifying my identity presented a risk. Your platform is large enough to reach the right people without creating unnecessary exposure. People have seen, as I have, your character and the way you handle sensitive material and protect your sources. Your commitment to maintaining OPSEC principles and respecting confidentiality has been evident. You were definitely the right choice for this. Thank you for that. Although, I guess, I don't know, some of the things I did, to me, seemed like common sense. I did get some emails from people trying to, like, get more information, or, like, get the images that were blurred, or I was asked to not share and stuff. And, yeah. I was like, no. But anyways, number 3. Am I the only one you shared this with besides the one other creator you originally mentioned? No, you're not the only one. I've shared these materials with a few trusted individuals who are aligned with the objective of responsible disclosure. However, the distribution has been limited as sharing this information comes with significant risks, both personally and operationally. Number 4, do you know what the possibilities and limits of the UAP in the pictures you shared are that are beyond what is described in the Immaculate Constellation Report given to Congress? The report is intentionally limited. It's a briefing, not a full technical assessment. The UAPs observed demonstrate capabilities far beyond conventional aerospace benchmarks. These crafts demonstrate transmedium travel, non-ballistic motion, and localized gravity manipulation. Some, like the Cruciform entity, show distinct behaviors indicating functional differences. Shape-shifting has been observed, possibly due to advanced cloaking or optical refraction, referred to as morphogenic behavior, allowing adaptation to environments or missions with materials or energy constructs beyond Earth's technology. Certain UAPs emit EMF signatures that disrupt ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance systems, causing sensor malfunctions. Orb-class UAPs focus on surveillance with minimal EMF interference, electromagnetic, while cruciform entities exhibit aggressive maneuvers and high-energy emissions capable of disabling systems such as the EODAS. I don't know what EODAS is. Anyways, you guys can look that up. I looked up other acronyms. Number 5, is there any picture you've seen where the craft has any kind of letters, symbols, or similar on it? Yes. 2 high-resolution captures from ISR platforms, one from an Mk9 Reaper, another from a P-8A Poseidon, show markings resembling glyphs. These are non-alphanumeric and appear etched, possibly isotropic engravings. These markings might serve symbolic, functional, or communicative purposes, though their meaning is entirely speculative. I'm going to put myself up here. In your second drop of images, one of them that you had me blur was called the Cruciform entity. The word entity could be interpreted as having something organic or lifelike associated with it. Is there a reason it has that word associated with it? The term entity reflects observed behavior that suggests autonomy or intelligence. The Cruciform class displayed pursuit patterns and what could only be described as evasive maneuvers when intercepted. This behavior goes beyond what we classify as remotely piloted. While no biological components have been recovered, the tactical response it demonstrates suggests a level of sentience. We've also seen different types of Cruciform class entities with different lengths and widths. And here I'm going to show you a few of the images that he has shared with me. These images remind me a lot of the incidents recorded at Nuremberg in 1561. So I believe this is like... Now, something I gotta say is that there are some theories as to how these things work. Like, I just finished reading Luis Elizondo's book, and they go into some theories as to how perhaps these UAPs are operating within like sort of a space-time bubble. And because of that, there can be distortions in the way that, like, kind of like if you were to look into water and things look blurry, like it's like instead of the light being bent by going through different mediums, it's being bent by going through this like space-time bubble or whatever, which apparently could be one reason why a lot of these things end up being blurry. I'll go over that in another video in Elizondo's book. But here's, I believe this is an orb class right here, and then there's a cruciform class. And, you know, I guess it can, I mean, they're pretty close. And then another one, which I assume this is a cruciform class chasing an orb class. And then, yeah, I'll go into the other pictures after I get through the rest of this. I mean, number 5 here. This is really creepy. Okay. We've also seen different types of cruciform class entities with different lengths and widths, as you can see here. Okay, number 7. Have you witnessed disagreements over or power struggles among those in charge of UAP programs? Frequently. Some agencies push for a strictly defense-oriented posture, while others advocate for scientific exploration and international collaboration. These disagreements result in fragmented data sharing, funding disputes, and siloed operations. For instance, the divide between the ATIP-style exploratory programs and strictly defensive units within NASIC has caused significant delays in cohesive analysis. Number 8, you spoke of cooperation between allies. Is there cooperation with adversaries? Yes, but it's limited and often indirect. For example, during UAP detections in SSBN bastion zones in the Arctic, there was limited track 2 diplomacy with Russian GRU counterparts to avoid misinterpretations of activity as military provocations. However, China remains aggressively secretive about their encounters, suggesting either an inability or an unwillingness to cooperate. Now, you may not know what an SSBN bastion zone is in the Arctic, so I looked this up on ChatGPT. Okay, SSBN stands for Ship Submersible Ballistic Nuclear, which refers to ballistic missile submarines. These submarines carry nuclear weapons and are a key component of a nation's nuclear deterrence strategy. Bastion zones. These are areas of the ocean, often close to a country's territory, where SSBNs operate under protection from their own military forces, such as naval ships and aircraft. These zones are designed to provide a secure environment for SSBNs to deter detection and attack by adversaries. In the Arctic, obviously, refers to the strategic importance of the Arctic region. Track 2 diplomacy refers to informal, non-governmental, or unofficial dialogue and problem-solving activities conducted by private citizens, academics, or former officials. It aims to build trust and explore solutions for conflicts or contentious issues outside official governmental negotiations, which is track 1 diplomacy. Russian GRU counterparts. The GRU, main directorate of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation, is Russia's military intelligence agency. It plays a key role in defense and intelligence matters, including monitoring foreign military activities. Okay. Number 9. Is there a trend in shapes over time? Yes. Pre-1980s, predominantly disc-shaped or cigar-shaped sightings. Post-2000, a notable increase in orb class and triangular, star polygons, star polyhedron, chandelier configurations. Pre-1980 and post-2000, rare appearances of cruciform class entities known to the intelligence community. Number 10, can you debunk any bogus claims about UAP being currently circulated publicly? Certainly. One common misconception is that all UAPs are extraterrestrial. While some sightings may involve non-terrestrial technology, a significant number could involve advanced classified technologies developed by adversaries, including China and Russia. Claims that UAPs are merely drones are misleading. No known drone technology can achieve the speeds, maneuverability, and transmedium capabilities observed in these phenomena. UAPs have been tracked accelerating beyond 500 Gs, executing right-angle turns at hypersonic speeds, and moving seamlessly between air, sea, and space, far beyond what current or foreseeable drone systems can achieve. Number 11, and I think this is going to be the last question that I'm going to answer, that I'm going to read in this video, because I don't want to make this video so long that, well, I don't know. I feel like it's very important that people like read all of this and don't just look at the pictures. So I'm going to read this. I'm going to do a reverse image search on a couple of the images, and then in the next video, I'm going to read more of the questions and do the same thing and show a couple more of the images. Number 11, what is the single most alarming aspect of these interactions with Earth that has been intentionally withheld from the public, and who benefits from keeping it a secret? You are all familiar with UAP's presence at our nuclear deterrent bases or nuclear facilities. Their ability to interfere with C3I systems at nuclear facilities, I guess, is the most alarming aspect. This creates vulnerabilities that adversaries could exploit, even if UAPs themselves are non-hostile. Okay, so, and with that, let's go into these pictures or these images. There are 6. So I've already showed you all this one. Let me put myself like down here. I know everyone's gonna rip this on the internet. So yeah, that's the first one, which looks like the interactions between Cruciform and an orb class. And then we got a Cruciform, which looks like it's chasing an orb class. The behavior that is exhibited between these two types of entities, he talks about more later, as if they're like different factions. And then this third one is an orb class. One thing I do want to point out here is that you can tell these images have, well, to me it looks like they've been scanned, or they're just like old images, because you can see all like the dust and stuff on this, or I'm not really sure what it is, but it looks like it's been scanned. And with that, that's what I'm going to be releasing today. The rest of this I'm going to be releasing tomorrow in full. So I told you guys that I would be reverse image searching those images that I just showed you to prove that they originally came from me. So that first image we got right here. I'm going to click Find Image Source. Nothing comes up. The second image right here, I'm going to click Find Image Source. Nothing comes up. And the third image here, I'm I'm going to click Find Image Source. And nothing comes up. Okay, I want to kind of insert something here. And this is at the end of Luis Elizondo's book, Imminent, because I think this is important. Those of us who are fighting the fight need your help. We need your passion and we need your support. To do this, I ask you to have frank conversations with your family and friends. Share what you have learned and read within the pages of this book. Let them know that you think it is important to speak openly and seriously about this topic. If there are young people in your family, let them know that the world of science and technology hungrily awaits their imagination, creativity, and intellect. Their hands and minds will build the vessels that will take our species into a new frontier and solve the many problems ahead of us. But mostly what I want to say is reach out to your elected representatives. They're coming aboard more each day, but we cannot allow them to become lax or to control the narrative. You, as a citizen of this planet, have as much to say about this issue as they do. And don't ever let them forget that. If you don't know who your representative is, go to https://www.house.gov/representatives/find-your-representative. And then contact them, and you can share this video with them or the series of videos, and share Luis Elizondo's book with them. Just the whole point of these people who are whistleblowing is to get the public, people like you who are watching this, more interested in this topic, such that it pushes the government harder and harder until things happen. And that's how things will happen. This fight demands courage. It starts with talking. We can no longer stick our heads in the sand and pretend we are alone in the universe. We know we are not alone. We will unite as a species to communicate with these new potential friends, or we will doom ourselves through unwise policy and violence. Humanity has never been in this position or experienced what is ahead of us. If we make the wrong choices from here, we may erase humanity from the universe. If we come together in triumph, we will prosper and march into a future that no generation of humans has ever really imagined. If we are successful, the last chapter of this book will one day be the beginning of another one that will hopefully be written by our children. Are we ready? That is one of the questions I can't answer. Only you can.